As you've seen the last thing, we are building boost. I mean, I guess it's not like it's a huge deal, but it's way better for me than I've ever dealt with. So basically, we're building double the boost in half the time on the trans brake, and we haven't even started tuning it yet. So hopefully that's still the same when I start pulling this carb apart, because I can't say I know everything about everything, but I got a couple basic ideas for sure of how this CSU carburetor works. The blow-off valve is going to be a little bit of an issue. I'm going to have to find a way to have a very small amount of compressed air going into the power valves, you know, in the 5 to 10 psi range, so that I can adjust them to see when they're opening. And we're gonna make sure there's no crap in the carburetor. And I got basically all new gaskets for it. I just want to throw some gaskets on it just because, verify that, you know. And said she's running a little rich at idle and then running lean kind of everywhere else. Maybe cruising's all right, but as soon as you get into the throttle, it was getting pretty lean. And you know, last time we melted a piston based on, we think, running lean, but you know, here we are again. So I'm going to pull this carb off, and like I said, just check out a few things, make sure everything's all right. I'm going to check when to see the power valves are opening. And then from there, I don't know, I'm probably maybe a jet bigger or something. Then we'll adjust the mixture screws once we get it all back together again, because it's definitely a little rich at idle. Basically, our idle and wide open throttle are kind of mixed. Apparently it's supposed to be about 9.5, 10 idle-ish. I'd have to look at that again, but and then like around 8.5, 8.5, maybe wide open throttle, and we are like 10 wide open throttle. So that's why this thing was getting hot and shit. So we're gonna put some more fuel to it, and seems like it's gonna be a fairly warm day here in Cleveland. So as soon as we get any kind of light out, maybe early in the morning, we're gonna go rip some shit. I gotta try to mount the iPad in this thing somehow so I can see what the gauges are doing and everything else, and then we're gonna go give it hell. Can't remember the tune I had in it, but timing seemed to be safe at that point, so I guess we're gonna add more fuel now and try to get the you know, air fuel kind of right where it's building boost. And you know, that's about it. So we hate our couplers that are on there, but they work for now. I'm gonna redo the whole setup here, but for now we were just, like I said, literally wanting to know the difference from those turbos to these turbos. Let's check on spooling, and I don't want to really touch much else. But now that we know that it's insane and it's gonna rip your face off, now we're gonna try to tune and get it better. And a little late in the year, a week or two before Christmas, but and then, you know, who knows. We definitely need to acquire a engine diaper and a trans diaper, because I see us needing that in our future. And since we still have the JB 6 liter in here, I was gonna pull it out and put another motor in it, but I guess we're not pulling that out until it pulls itself out. That's what I've come up with. We're gonna see what happens, and this thing's gonna pull itself out. So engine diaper for sure, because we're gonna have crap all over the place. But wheel, obviously the carburetor's off and apart. I believe we have the culprit. So you can see how I gooped the bottom of that. Well, And this is why we're stopping right now. I mean, this is all I can find right now. It's some ho-de-do gauge with who knows if it works. Seemed like it was actually opening at like some kind of 14 psi, but when it was like only a few psi, it was leaking in between the, you know, the tube. So basically it's building pressure and not opening the power valve, which is going to make it run lean. So I mean, I think that might have been the problem the whole time with this thing. So being that we're not in a super big hurry and this thing is going good, I'm gonna get a better contraption than this today to get like an actual low, good reading, solid reading on it. And then we're gonna take this tube off and put a bigger one in or something, because it clearly was leaking around that. So if it's building pressure in and leaking in between there, it wasn't opening the power valves. And the way it was set up, it was like not opening till 20 some pounds. So that's after I sealed it. So we're just gonna get the right setup and get a little better gauge than this one that reads about 10 right now. And so that's the update for that on for now. The other update here on the ship box is that, as horrible as it is to say, I don't even like saying it, but I'm taking the Canfield heads off for now. The good, nice aluminum heads are coming off, and I'm putting cast iron heads on it. So these heads here are Pro Lightning, or RHS, whatever you want to call them, 220s, intake runners, ported and polished. Pretty much same as those. Little smaller exhaust, so my headers will actually fit for now. But I'm going to try to get some new headers. And it just takes stock rockers like a normal thing. So this whole offset rocker thing on that thing is pissing me off. So much I hate to say it, we are going to put the stock, not stock, the steel heads back on it, and we're going to see how that goes. Should run all right, minus it I wish they were still good, but who knows, it could be right. But the other thing I hear out of those heads is that everybody's saying they crack. I didn't see any cracks in them per se, but we had some coolant leaking somewhere. These things have huge exhausts too. Wow, that valve sure seems smaller than the rest of them. So we're gonna throw these Pro Lightning 220 heads on it, since we don't have a Bel Air motor anyway. That was out of my poor Bel Air. Pretty nasty motor, about same combination. We're just gonna slap the heads back on this and see what happens. This is not gonna be some kind of crazy thing. We're just adding some weight to it. Subtracted some weight from the Nova and added some weight to that. The nice thing about these turbos is it took a solid 80 pounds off the nose. And that's a pretty big number there, I would think. But those other turbos were like literally 70 a piece, and the new ones are 30. So obviously if you made it to school that day, about 80 pounds. So I guess that means it's a little over 2,500 now, but I'll have to get it back on a scale to verify 100%. And who knows if the scales are all accurate, but definitely light on the turbos. So I'm gonna wait, go get the right stuff for the power valve, do that right, and because we're not in a big hurry and my gauge sucks. So I guess that's gonna conclude the thing for today. Hopefully I get that all squared away, and it would be really dope if the power valve actually opened. But I jetted it up and all that. I have to figure out, I had it marked down what it was before, which in theory it should have been set up the way I needed, pretty close to before, but not with anything sucking air or blowing air or whatever. So hopefully that works. Like I said, she's building boost better than ever. She is, I think, going to be insane. Too bad we can't get to a track anywhere anytime soon, but I'll drive to Florida if I have to. I don't care. Update on that. We're gonna get a clean car, put it back together, but for now we're gonna, like I said, wait, adjust the power valves right, make sure they're all in order. Like I said, they were coming in like 20 pounds of boost on the backside, which obviously is not gonna fly. When seemed like I'm gonna probably do it around like 5 and 10 pounds, 5 in the front, 10 in the rear. JB Weld motor is still holding up, so I think I said this before and I'll say it again, but I need a freaking diaper, and not for the baby, for the engine and the transmission, because at some point this transmission with the stock case it just plow right in your face. We can obviously get, actually I have a cover for it, but probably put that on there. I'd be more worried about hot transmission fluid blowing all over me, so I may try to make a cover of some sort, but we don't want to start adding weight when we just took it off. So, but she's dirty girl. We're gonna get this thing back to rolling here later on today. Obviously all we gotta do is throw the carb back on, so I guess we will see what happens from there. Like